She told me to vanish. I still remember the words. Cold. Precise. Final. Just go, Liam. Vanish. Disappear from my life like you never existed. There was no screaming, no dramatic exit. Just a quiet death of something I thought would last forever. I left that night, carrying a broken heart and the echo of her voice in my ears. For years, I honored her wish. I changed cities, changed names. Deleted every trace of her. Pictures, messages, even memories I thought would never fade. I buried everything we were under layers of time, pain, and silence. Until today. I wasn't supposed to be here. The only reason I came back to this city was a last-minute client meeting for a restoration project. The museum. I didn't even think about her being there. Why would I? Had been almost a decade. But fate, fickle and cruel, had other plans. She turned the corner of the main gallery as I was inspecting a damaged sculpture. Her steps halted mid-stride. Her eyes locked on mine. And just like that, time folded in on itself. She looked the same. Older, yes, but still with that same fire behind her eyes. For a split second, I wasn't in a museum. I was 24 again, standing on her porch in the rain, begging her to believe in us one last time. I opened my mouth to speak. She didn't. Her face went pale, lips parting slightly, and then she crumpled to the floor. I rushed to her before anyone else could, dropping beside her like instinct had never left me. A security guard ran to call for help. I barely heard him. All I could hear was her uneven breathing. All I could see was the flicker of lashes over closed eyes. By the time she came to, medics were surrounding us. Her eyes fluttered open, confused, fragile. "Liam," she whispered, more breath than voice. "I'm here," I said softly. Tears pooled in her eyes. She gripped my sleeve as if I might vanish again if she blinked. "I thought you were gone forever," she said. "I was," I replied, voice shaking. "Because you told me to be." She nodded slowly, shame swimming in her gaze. "I was scared," she whispered. "Scared of how much I loved you. Scared I didn't deserve it. I thought pushing you away would protect us both." I sat back on my heels, stunned. Years of unanswered questions, of aching silence, collapsed into that single confession. "You told me to disappear, Ava," I said gently. "And I did. But not a day passed that I didn't wonder what would have happened if I stayed." The medics urged us to head to the hospital. She reached for my hand as they helped her up. She held it tightly, like an anchor to a past she never truly let go of. And I realized, neither had I. We talked later, in the sterile quiet of a hospital room. We talked about the years lost, the hurt, the fear, the love that never really died. And maybe, just maybe, something broken long ago began to heal, starting with the moment our eyes met again. The hospital lights were soft, buzzing overhead. Ava sat on the edge of the bed, her hands folded in her lap, still visibly shaken, though the color had returned to her face. I sat across from her, the chair too small and the air too thick with everything we hadn't said in years. "You look different," she said quietly. "So do you." I hesitated. "Still beautiful, though." A flicker of a smile curved her lips, bittersweet and fleeting. "You always said the right thing." "No," I said, shaking my head. "I just said what I meant." She looked away, her eyes tracing something invisible on the wall. "I used to imagine this moment," she murmured. "What I'd say if I ever saw you again. And I never imagined I'd faint in the middle of a museum." She laughed softly, and I joined her. The laughter faded slowly, like smoke, leaving behind silence. Not uncomfortable, just full. "I never stopped loving you, Ava," I said. "I buried it, fought it, hated it at times, but it never really left." Her eyes shimmered. "I told you to vanish because I didn't know how to love someone like you, someone who saw all of me and still stayed. You think that made you unlovable?" "No," she said. "It made me terrified." I leaned forward. "And now?" She looked straight at me, unblinking. "Now I'm tired of being afraid." I reached out, placing my hand over hers. Then maybe we can start over. Not as who we were, but who we've become. She didn't answer right away. Her thumb brushed over mine, hesitant, searching. Then she whispered, "Tell me something true. Something you've never told anyone." I thought for a moment, then said, "I still wear the watch you gave me. Doesn't even work anymore. But I kept it, because it reminds me there was a time someone loved me completely." Her lips trembled. She got up and walked over to me, standing close enough that I could hear the shallow rise and fall of her breath. "I never stopped," she said. "I just didn't know how to come back." And then she kissed me. Not the kiss of passion or apology, but of recognition. Kiss that said, "I see you. Remember. I want to try." We left the hospital together, walking under a quiet evening sky. No promises. No grand declarations. Just two people slowly stepping back into something fragile, something real. Sometimes the past comes back not to haunt you, but to heal you. And sometimes the moment your eyes meet again is the moment your story begins anew. We walked out of the hospital and into the hush of twilight. The city lights flickered to life one by one, like stars daring to shine again. Ava slipped her hand into mine as if it had always belonged there. No words, just quiet gravity pulling us closer. We didn't talk about what came next. Not yet. We just walked. But just before we reached the corner where we'd part ways for the night, she stopped, turned to me, and asked, "Do you remember the oak tree on Willow Lane?" Course I did. The old oak, massive, stubborn, a little crooked, where we carved our initials into the bark the summer we fell in love. "I drive by it sometimes," she said. "It's still there." Smiled. "So am I." Her eyes lit up, more alive than I'd seen them all night. "Meet me there tomorrow," she asked. "Just after sunrise." He nodded. I arrived before the sun, just like I used to. The tree stood tall and familiar, worn but proud like us. The bark still bore the faded scar of L+A, wrapped in a shaky heart. Touched it. Then I waited. And just as the first golden light broke over the horizon, she appeared, walking toward me through the morning fog, barefoot on the grass, hair undone and eyes locked on mine. But this time she didn't faint. Ran straight into my arms. And in that moment I knew. She wasn't asking for a second chance. She was ready to live the life we never got to finish. Because love, the real kind, doesn't die when you're told to vanish. Wait. Endures. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it finds its way back beneath the same old tree.